Hello, my name is Kirsten. Welcome to TOEFL Land. Today, I'd like to talk to you about speaking task number 2, the announcement and the conversation between two students, a man and a woman. And specifically, I want to address 2 things that can happen on test day that might be a surprise for you with this question. And I do not want you to be surprised on test day. I want you to be prepared and ready for anything. Okay, so first, let's just cover what this question is asking and typically how students study for it. And then we can see how TOEFL might switch that up slightly on test day to throw you off. But I don't want you to get thrown off. Okay, no surprises. So typically, this is what happens in speaking task number 2. We have some announcement about some change at the university. Okay, so in this case, we have the library is announcing that it will be extending its hours on Friday nights, and the library will now be open until midnight. Then we have a conversation between a man and a woman, and typically one student is really happy about this announcement. They really support this idea, and another student doesn't support the idea. Maybe they have some, they want to express some negative aspects of it or some downsides of it. So in this case, we have the man who really likes this idea of the library extending its hours on Friday nights. He likes it because it gives him the chance to study more. He works late already on Friday nights, and he needs a place to go and study. So he appreciates that when he gets off of work, the library will still be open. He also likes that it's a quiet place to study. Usually on Friday nights in his dormitory, there are parties going on. There are a lot of people talking and drinking and playing loud music. So he appreciates that it's quiet at the library and he can focus and concentrate there. He also likes the fact that the library gives him more room to study. He can lay out his books on the desk everywhere. His desk is a lot bigger than the desk at his dorm room. And that's why he really agrees and is excited about this announcement. The woman, on the other hand, she thinks that students should not be studying at a library on Friday nights. She thinks that students should be participating in parties and other events happening on campus. She also thinks that the library should consider having later hours on a different night, such as Tuesday or Wednesday night. Okay, so this is our content, all right? Now, typically, students will take notes very heavily when they hear someone complaining, okay? When they hear the student that's against the announcement. However, your question might ask, in this case, about the man's opinion. So the first thing I want you to know is that I want you to really be aware, be listening to both people as they speak, because you might get a question that asks about the man, the woman's opinion. It's hard to predict, so be prepared to answer either one of those and take notes as you go. So let's say I'm doing this question. I'm going to time myself now to see if I can summarize the announcement. I want to spend about 10 seconds over here. And then let's say the question asks me to summarize the man's opinion. So I'm going to start and just say what he has to say first. Then I'll go over to her if I have time. Okay? So let's start the timer here. The announcement says that the library will extend its hours on Friday nights, and the library will now be open until midnight. The man really loves this idea because he gets to study more on Friday nights. He actually works late at work on Friday night, and he really appreciates having a place to go where he can study until midnight. He also likes the fact that the library is quiet. And on Friday nights in his dormitory, the students are partying, they're making a lot of noise, and so he really likes the fact that the library is quiet. He also appreciates more room, that the library offers bigger desks where he can spread out his books rather than his small desk in his dorm room. On the other hand, the woman disagrees. She thinks people should party on Friday nights. Beep. Okay. Boom. That was my 1 minute. So, let's take the second thing that I want you to know about. Okay, so the first thing is take notes on both, woman, man, because you never know whose opinion that question is going to ask about. Now, the other scenario you might see on this question, okay, is that the woman might disagree at first, but then agree later on, okay? So let's say that she does think that students should take a break from studying and maybe they should enjoy themselves on Friday night. They should party and not spend their time at the library. But she's also working on some research, and she needs to get into the rare books section. And if nobody's working at the library, she can't access her research. She can't even look it up online because it's very rare, this research. It's only in these special collections that the library has. So she starts to kind of change her opinion with the fact that she would like more time to do research, okay? And she also thinks it might be a good idea because she has a group project that she's involved in, and Friday nights is really the only time all of them can get together, and it is a really great meeting spot at the library for people to gather. Okay, so now we have this scenario where the man totally agrees, and the woman at first doesn't like this idea of longer hours at the library on Friday nights, but then comes to change her mind. Okay, so how do you handle this situation? Because this might happen to you on the TOEFL, where your question is now the woman expresses her opinion, summarize her opinion, and the reason she gives for holding that opinion. But her opinion changes, all right? So what you can do is you can start by saying at first. At first, the woman thinks that. Then as you transition to her other side, you can say, then the woman changes her mind. Or you could say, however, the woman then considers the research project she has to do, okay? So that would be a way to transition to her other side of why she thinks that late hours at the library would be better. And then you can conclude with, so the woman comes to change her mind about the longer hours at the library on Friday nights. Okay? So let me try this scenario where now the question's asking me to talk about the woman's opinion. Let's see what happens. I've got 1 minute on the clock. Let's do it. The announcement says that the library will extend its hours, and on Friday nights it will now be open until midnight. The woman at first thinks that this is a bad idea because she thinks students should take a break from studying from time to time and save Friday nights as a night that they get to enjoy for themselves, they get to party and celebrate life. However, she does start to consider that the library hours extension on Friday nights could be beneficial because she's working on some research where she needs to access the rare books collection, and she can only access that through going physically to the library and not from her internet at home. She also thinks that it would be beneficial for group project meetings because people can always meet on a Friday night, beep, and that's my time. Okay. So notice I really didn't have time to go and talk about the man, but that's okay, because I spent most of my time over here, and that's what the question wanted to know. They wanted to know the woman's opinion, so I fulfilled at least answering the question in a comprehensive way. So, again, to summarize, the two things that I want you to know about speaking task number 2, number 1, take notes on both because you never know what the question's going to ask, the man's opinion or the woman's opinion, okay? And you won't know until the conversation is over and then you get that question. So pay attention to both sides. Don't just always study what the complainer is complaining about. The second thing to know is that you might have the scenario of a person changing their mind halfway through. And when the question asks about their opinion, you have to be able to express what they started with and what they ended with. And you have to be able to summarize both. All right? So that's it for today. Happy TOEFL studies, and I'll see you next time.